anybody's not familiar, this is a Scoby.
It's a big one.
Yeah, I get some big mamas. So what this is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, also known as Scoby, right? So they know that there's bacteria and yeast growing. Now there's all this kind of mystery, and it's all complicated as to the origins of it. I swear, I dare somebody to test making a mother vinegar and starting to feed this, and I guarantee you. I've heard people make all kinds of distinctions about the origins of kombucha and stuff, and it's really probably much more simple. Has anyone ever left like the end of Bragg's apple cider vinegar, right? Something that's not pasteurized, and it makes that little mother look just like a little Scoby. Yeah. So,
But they're not the same.
that's possible, but I don't see any research for that. I see a lot of mythology, but I don't know anybody who's actually tried. So the reason I'm even suspecting this is because there's basically a way to get off the white sugar. The reason I'm not such a fan of kombucha is because I don't really take refined white sugar from the sugar cane plant. I consume raw honey, or I consume maple syrup. I feel like those are much better for my teeth. I don't touch agave, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm really not a fan of refined sugar. I don't mess with it. But that actually, there's an article that I read that says it messes with the pH. I actually used it and I found out it's molasses-based and all this stuff. I don't recommend sugar if you want a healthy immune system. It doesn't seem that healthy. And immune system and sugar are really very friendly. So I found that you can make gin culture with any Scoby if you did want to get off the sugar. If not, there is some idea that some of the sugar is eaten, but just like bread and sourdough, some of the gluten is eaten. It's not like no sugar, right? So we need to understand what the value of sugar is, how much it gets converted. This is a more alcoholic substance. Now, a lot of people are used to cracking open their kombucha and getting a fizzy drink, right? That is either carbonated synthetically, just like they do with Coca-Cola, or people actually will cap it and rack it, which is a common practice in beer making or meat making or wine making. So hopefully, it's naturally carbonated, which means that basically you pour it in another vessel, which I'll explain, and you let the carbon build up and it can't fart. So you basically stop it from gassing out, and then it's carbonated, and you get to drink the kombucha part. Great. So very simply, how do you make this? You get yourself a Scoby, right? And I can even give as many of these as you want. You can cut it into a little piece. I can even do all Scobies. You can put them in your pocket or something. So if you do have some kind of container, you can take some Scoby home. And what you do is you make a liquid. It's ready for the recipe. Here's my only recipe of the day. 8 to 10 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar, 4 tea bags. So that's the general recipe for kombucha.
1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of honey.
Well, it's 1 to 1. So if you wanted to go,
Wow. I don't like water bags.
sugar or
honey.
I used to about. That's what I say. But usually I generally do that when making herbal medicine. Whenever it says sugar, when you look at the syrup recipes, I'll just use that and all honey. But I really love honey pears. I have that honey. So you basically take the Scoby and you make this liquid, and if you want to be smart about it, this is usually confuses some people, but just consider you made 4 cups, say it's 8 cups, right? If you only made 4 cups of tea, then you could pour in colder water again, because if you put hot liquid into this Scoby, you'll burn it. You'll hurt the tea, right? So if you just use either some of that water and then add it, or like today I made this and put it outside in the snow, right? And it cooled down really quickly. So you basically just want to make it lukewarm. So again, it's not very complicated. Just cut your water level in half, make the hot tea, and pour the rest of the water into that, and then it will be less time to cool down. Right? Very simple. So, does anybody have any questions about kombucha making?
Sorry, could you repeat the recipe?
So it's 8 to 10 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar, and 4 tea bags. And I'd like to say 4 tea bags worth of tea, because I don't use tea bags. But I think it's good. Again, like I'm teaching with the kimchi, make it simple, and go from there. So try your little 1 cup of sugar, 4 tea bags, and then just use 4 tea bags worth, which is essentially, 4 teaspoons, something like that.
And it will work with like 1 cup of honey?
Yeah, and green tea. Like, so I don't know. Sometimes you get these like weird patterns that you can't discern if they're really necessary or not, and so it's almost like the placebo effect. So I don't know if the green tea and the honey are like so necessary. Can you use black tea and honey? Has anyone tried? Did you try black tea and honey?
I've tried different teas.
With honey, though, right?
I use honey.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of creativity within any of these things, and whether or not they're good or not for you, nobody really can tell you that. There is an understanding that some, like, I use molasses sugar, right, which is, turbinado sugar, right, it's molasses based. I went online, I read this website, they said, oh, well, this Scoby actually gets out of the pH for being healthy. If you do that, so that's one website, so then what do you do with that one website? They said, like, oh, the pH is too low. So now you got a pH stripper kombucha. It's like, whatever. Just drink some apple cider vinegar and water. With a little lemon juice, just like, and no sugar, right? So it's fun, and I think the main function of kombucha should be for any kids who are drinking soda, right? Should switch to kombucha, and you can teach them. It's so fun, and you can measure, and you can weigh, and you can do all that fun stuff. It's such a fun, crazy project. I mean, look at this thing, it's like a lot. They could hold it, you could juggle this, you could throw it around as a frisbee. It's and this way you can get really the kids involved with making whole drinks. And of course, then you get a few bottles, right? Whether it's growlers or anything with one of those flip tops, right? And so you wait for about 2 weeks to a month. The Scoby eats that sugar tea. It's basically sweet cake, then it goes down the south. It's basically sweet cake, right? And it eats that, and then you get a more acidic medium. So then all you do is pour that liquid out, right? You keep the cultures in there and pour the liquid out. And then you just make that tea again, cool it down, and you pour more of it. So now, imagine this is the liquid, right? The stuff that was 2 weeks to a month. This is my stuff that I drink, my kombucha liquid, right? From here, if I put that in one of those flip top bottles, right, I could actually sequester the carbonate, right? And so generally,